So welcome to this video on Krishnamurti Paddhati. We have in our presence, he is an eminent astrologer of Krishnamurti Paddhati with a vast experience of 25 years. His clients belong to all the continents of the world. So I suppose we should start and try to understand the difference between Parashara Vedic astrology and Krishnamurti Paddhati. So, sir, could you please give us some explanation regarding this?
Namaste. Yes, sir. I am TKP Ghopal. I have been getting trained from our Professor Vaikhalingam in Salem of Tamil Nadu and practicing for the past 25 years and conducting classes alone for the past 20 years from different part of the country. And I learned only KP system. I did not get into Vedic. Only Vedic I learned for the purpose of giving predictions. And that was, I think that was enough because I could reach the appropriate predictions with this itself. So that is why I follow only the KP system.
So can you give us an hint about the Vedic houses, the difference between the Vedic houses and KP houses?
Yes,
how
sir.
do they differ? How do they differ?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that is the most important division which Guru KSK, my Mahaguru KSK is by name, his case Krishnamurti, and by his name Krishnamurti Paddhati is evolved, and he had done a very vast, extensive study of almost all the astrology available on earth, including Kabbalah astrology of the Middle East and the Western astrology, Chinese astrology, Vedic astrology. And he has a lot of quotes from Vedic astrology. So finally he found that the equal distribution of houses in the Vedic astrology is not doing that favor, or it is not doing very good performance as compared to the Placidus system of division. The Placidus system of division is that the cuspal point of one house to the cuspal point of the next house is the this particular, say for instance, if you take the first house is starting at 14 degree 53 minutes in the Taurus, and the second house is starting at 16 degree 23 minutes in the Gemini. The distance from 14 degree Taurus until 16 degree Gemini is considered to be the first cusp. And this is an unequal distribution. It is not equal distribution, giving consideration for the elongation of the Earth's movement around Sun. The conservation is given, and that is why all houses will not be equal to one another. Yes, sir.
It seems there's quite a lot of difference between Vedic houses and KP houses.
Sir.
So further, I would like to understand what are the significators in Krishnamurti Paddhati and what does it exactly mean?
Yes, sir. These significators are the most important factors of KP system as compared to the Vedic system. Most of the time in Vedic system, you give importance only to the planets. And wherever they are housed, you take that into account and start giving the prediction. Many times they go fail, or otherwise they go wrong, only because the cuspal division is such that the planet posited in that house may not be in this particular cusp. Say, for instance, you may think that uh, a planet is deposited in the seventh house. You may be thinking that it's in the seventh house, and it is in the seventh house only. But the seventh house starts at 26 degrees in that particular house, and if the planet is placed at 22 degrees, that is not considered to be the seventh cusp, but it is considered to be in the sixth cusp. So the matter, more particularly about the marriage matter, fails miserably because the seventh house is marriage and the sixth house is the negating house of the seventh house. There is no marriage. So you may be thinking that, or otherwise the Vedic astrologer would give prediction that during this period you will be married, but exactly during that period he cannot be married.
Yeah,
This is the difference, and this is a very important difference. And likewise, there are many more things which accounts for the important significance of KP system.
So we would also like to understand from you the concept of improvement and non-improvement houses.
Yeah.
How does it help in prediction?
This is one of the very important point of KP system. See, like in Vedic, they have the trigon, the angular houses, the Upajayasthan, kind of very many things are available. But in KP system, our Guru has mentioned only one particular position, that is improvement house and the non-improvement house. The improvement houses of that particular cusp will improve that house. Say, for instance, see, if you have a question regarding the seventh house, they say for marriage or a partnership, and if the seventh cusp is having the significance of improvement, then that is going to take place. If it is not having improvement, then that is not going to, that's going to be a failure for that particular prediction. So that is why the significators with improvement and non-improvement houses are very important limbs of KP system.
Why is birth time rectification important?
Yes, sir. Birth time rectification is important because our divisions are very small in the sense we are not connecting. See, once upon a time, the moon's house was taken into consideration and they started giving prediction based on the moon's rasi. Then came the ascendant. The ascendant is much smaller than the moon's movement because moon will move from one nakshatra to other, taking almost a day, and for one house it will take almost 2 quarter days. But whereas an ascendant will take approximately 2 hours to cross through one house because it has to make one round around the house within 24 hours. So we have 12 houses, and there may be some more, some less. There is, according to the elongation, the Placidus system will make it uneven houses. So it may be more or less, but ultimately there will be only 24 hours, and they have to cross through 360 degrees. So this is being very, very smart, or rather the predictions were very precise as compared to the moon's rasi. But now we are not connecting with the ascendant also. We are going beyond which, that is, every house is divided into different sublots. Say for instance, Mars, Aries. Aries is having 22 sub, Taurus 19 subs, Gemini 21 sub, and Cancer 21 sub. Altogether 83 sub for one segment. Then same way for another 3 segment make 249 sublords. Each and every sublord is valuable. Every sublord is valuable. According to that only we come out with the prediction. So it's very precise. You can skip your time. It can go and totally wrong if you don't make the birth time rectification, because it may go even if the sublords start from 3 minutes to 8 minutes. One sublord is, say, for Sun sub is 3 minutes and Venus sub is little more than 8 minutes. So within this time, say for instance, ascendant moves in longitude, it takes 4 minutes time for 1 degree.
Right.
So for for instance, for Venus, 8 minutes, so 2 degrees will be going away. That will make a difference of a sublord. So when the sublord is changed and the entire program is changed, the entire prediction will be, this way or that way. So what we have to do is to rectify the birth. Why this rectification of birth time, or how to rectify it so sharply? That's also because the doctors, those who write the time, they write their own will and pleasure, because everybody will be having different time, and there will be a wall clock having some other time. They'll write any one of the time, which may not be very precise. And another thing, the time is to be taken at the time of the cutting of cord, or rather the first cry of the child. So mostly they don't observe because they were in very much tension for doing the delivery of a girl. So naturally we cannot blame them also, and we can move either forward or back. Mostly we move backward. Why? Because they may forget to write and they will write the time later on. So they may commit a mistake by skipping the time. So we need to go back most of the time. Sometimes, very rarely, you may have to move forward and fix the time. So that is why we need. And another thing, how to fix the time. I can give you one small example that a man has to, if one individual is to exist, then you should have a body and soul.
Yes.
Body is moon and soul is ascendant. You need to have a connection between these two. Then only that particular individual can remain. So that is why we need to
Do the birth time
do
rectification.
the birth time rectification.
So in KP, we follow the Vinchotri Dasha of, and here Dasha is matter. So how do you define Dasha, Bhukti, and Antara? Dasha, Bhukti, like if Dasha is matter, then what is Bhukti and what is Antara?
Yeah, sir, actually the Dasha is nothing but the star lord.
Right, sir.
So it is said that the star lord is the matter or subject or indicator, and the sublord is the Bhukti lord, which is the deciding factor. Say, for instance, very simple as that, sir. Now, the Saturn is the Dasha which is giving marriage. But Saturn is for a very long time, 19 years. Within 19 years, when the marriage is going to take place, that is to be given by a Bhukti. So, that Bhukti is the deciding factor. Whatever the Dasha is focusing, that is being decided by the bhukti. When it is decided, then the execution takes place during that particular antra. So that is why you see, you can say the dasa as the indicator or matter or subject, and bhukti as the decider, and the antra as the executor.
So I thank you so much for giving us this deep thoughts of KP, and I suppose it'll really help the viewers when they see this video. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All the very best.